All right, so for skill 8.3, we're going to be using special right triangles. Now, in these 45, 45, 90 triangles, just as a remember of the relationship, right? Because we need to answer in simplified radical form, which means we can't really use trigonometry because that only gives us rounded decimals. And so remember, if this is x and this is x in a 45, 45, 90 triangle, this is x root 2. So in this case, pretty easily, b is already going to be 4 because it's the same. And a, we just take our 4 and times it by the square root of 2. So 4 root 2, like that. And that's our answer. Now the same thing applies here. If this is x, this is also going to be x. And in this case, we actually have x and y. And this is x root 2. Now, in 14, we kind of took 4 and we multiplied by square root of 2. Well, now we have 7, and we're going back to the legs. We're going to divide by square root 2. And that's going to give us x is equal to y. So x is equal to y, which is equal to 7 divided by the square root of 2. But we can't actually leave it like this with the root 2 in our denominator. So we multiply by root 2 over root 2, and I get 7 root 2 on top, and root 2 times root 2 is just 2 on the bottom. And so this is our actual answer, 7 root 2 over 2. So both x and y equal that. So x is equal to 7 root 2 over 2, and y is also 7 root 2 over 2. Over 2. All right. Now, for 16 and 17, we have 30, 60, 90 triangles. So remember here, if this is x, this is our short leg. Our long leg becomes x square root 3. And our hypotenuse, the longest side, becomes 2x. So here, if I'm going to do that, y is equal to 2 root 3 times root 3, right? Because we're taking whatever our short leg is and multiplying by root 3. And so that's just equal to root 3 times root 3 is just 2 times 3, and y is equal to 6. Now for x, we just literally take 2 root 3 and multiply it by 2. Now when we do this, remember, whole numbers we multiply together and square roots we multiply together. In this case, we only have whole numbers. And so that's going to be x is equal to 4 square root 3. And those are my two answers, x equals 6, x equals 4 square root 3. All right. Now for 17, same thing. This is my long leg, short leg, and hypotenuse. Let me abbreviate hypotenuse better. All right, so once again, this is x root 3, and 2x. So if I'm going from long leg to short leg, just like up above in problem 15, I'm dividing by root 3. So 9, so my y is equal to 9 root 3 over 2. And then that's the kind of like the same thing as multiplying by 1 over square root 3. Now when I do that, the root 3's honestly just cancel. And I'm left with 9 over 2 is y. And I know you're not supposed to write it as 9 over 2 is equal to y, but I'm running out of space. Now for the x, all right, once this is 9 over 2, to get to the x, we need to then multiply it by 2. So x is equal to 9 over 2 double. And that's just going to equal 9 is equal to x. 9 is equal to x, like that. For 18, okay, so for 18, the key line here is what I'm drawing in green. That's the side that shares both our top triangle, which is a 45, 45, 90 triangle, and our bottom, which is a 30, 60, 90. Now, just like before, this is x root 2, and this is x in the 45, 45, 90. So to find this green side, I do 8 divided by root 2. I'm just dividing by root 2. multiply by root 2 over root 2, and I get 8 root 2 over 2, which is equal to 4 root 2. So I'm going to rewrite this green sign as 4 root 2. Now, that is the hypotenuse, so I'm going to use blue to work for the rest. This is the hypotenuse of my small triangle here in blue, that 30, 60, 90 triangle. So to go to the short leg, I divide by 2. Right? If we come up here to our short leg, right, our hypotenuse is 2x, and so our short leg is x, so we divide by 2. And so 4 root 2 divided by 2 is just 2 square root 2. And then finally, our x's, we take our short leg, 2 square root 2 times root 3. And I get x is equal to 2, and then root 2 times root 3 is just square root of 6. X is equal to 2 square root 6. And that's my answer. All right, and then finally, for the regular hexagon, so remember a regular hexagon, we can just split into 6 equilateral triangles. Now, one thing to remember is this is asked for simplified radical form, so this is 8. That's the short leg, and then this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle, like that's 30 degrees, 60 degrees, and a right angle, like that. And so our height of this triangle, if this is 8 square root 3. And so to find the area of one triangle, we would just do base times height divided by 2. And then we're going to take whatever that is times 6, because there's 6 of them in our polygon. So that's just going to be the base is 16 times 8 root 3 divided by 2 times 6. Well, that is area is equal to 16 divided by 2 is 8. 8 times 8 is 64 root 3 times 6, which our final answer is 384 root 3 square units, like this. 384 root 3.